Hello there. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Bay, and I wasn't sure how much longer I'm going to keep doing videos. I'm going to kind of see what YouTube is doing. It sounds like we might all get our non-profitable channels cut this December, but you know what? Until then, I've got some comic books that I really want to share. Even if the channel goes down, you know, in December 10th, these are really cool books, and I wanted to share them. I went to El Paso today, and I had a great luck with books. Took in a couple of higher value books that I wasn't really crazy about, and ended up trading them in for a whole bunch of store credit. And so I kind of got a shopping spree, and I'm very excited about it. Book I had to get today. I don't normally buy new stuff, but this art germ from X-Men, this Marvel Gore cover is just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Had to have that. And another book I found and some stuff today was Twisted Tales number 8. I ordered, I think 1 through 6 should be coming in the mail this week. So to find book number 8, was very excited by that. I love PC stuff. Also found issue number 9. And like I said, I love PC comics. Pacific Comics. Very excited to have them. Some other books that I found this trip today. Just different stuff. The guy at the shop, after seeing what all else I bought, he recommended Barmaid, which I had, of course, never heard of. And these were in his discount bin, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, you should check these out. I think you'd like them." So I had to give it a try, and art in them looks good. If I can get a little bit less glare there, but yeah, art looks good. Got some chick action on the cover. Can always go with that. And it looks like a mini series. I think it runs 3 issues is all he had in his bin. And I'm pretty sure that's all there was. But I think it looks good. Looks like something I might enjoy. And then he had issue number 3. So there's Barmaid number 3. And just looks like a quick read. I mean, there's not tons of dialogue in this thing, and I kind of like that. I don't know. You can get way too many words in a comic book, in my opinion, and it just gets like a chore to read. Another book he talked me into, which he said, "Oh, you got to get this." Miss Fury from Dynamite, which I had never heard of course. These are newer books. I'm not familiar with them, but wowza. He said, "You know what? Give these books a try. I swear you won't be disappointed." I think I was able to pick up some of the variants, and some of the art in these just looks really good. Excuse me. Anyway, got issue number 3. I think it looks like a book I would probably enjoy. I didn't notice, but I grabbed issue number 4, and it has got a pretty good wrinkle on the top there. But I did grab the variant. He had the regular that probably would have not had that, but I didn't notice it, and I was kind of in a hurry. He had a bin of kind of cheaper stuff. I loved Exiles. I thought it was great. I loved the character Blink. I was really glad to see Magic in it. And wow, that's got a big insert in there. Anyway, I grabbed a pile of Exiles. I got Exiles 44, Exiles 51. If you've never read these or flipped through them, the art in them is really good. And the stories are very, very good because, you know, anything can happen. Like issue 52. And I think I have most of these in trades. It's just nice to... I prefer to have them in, what do they call these? Floppies? I prefer to have the floppies. I hate trades. I had a whole video about the evil of trade paperbacks and how I hate them. But anyway. Issue 58. Exiles 59. Nice appearance. Looks like the AOA Sabretooth. A lot of ads in Marvel stuff back then. This is about the end of when Marvel was good. Exiles, PG, I think this is issue 10. The Exiles change out, the team roster changes out all the time. It's probably what kept the book fresh. I like it. A lot of times your team members would die. At issue 14. It's just one of those series. If this is in your bargain bin, and this is like, I think I paid like 75 bucks or 75 cents an issue. Is what he finally charged me in trade. So really, it didn't really cost me much at all. I'm not going to leave them there. I'm not going to leave these in a bargain bin. I kind of even did a. Gosh, should I really take that? Well, hell yes, I should. Yes, I should totally get those. Issue 17. This is probably one of the more famous covers. I do love all of the covers that I've seen from the series. I always enjoy it. But anyway, got those. Had to share those. Those are probably about the most normal books I got in this set. Because I got a bunch of odd stuff today. I got First Comics, First Adventures. I don't really know what that is. I don't know if it's like a little anthology type book. It looks like an anthology book because that's Dynamo Joe. That's a different book. But yeah, I was like, that's a first comic I've never heard of. So I'm probably going to grab that. But I got issue 4 and issue number 2, First Adventures, and it just looked good. Looked like great stuff. And yeah, it's definitely an anthology style book, but dang, that is a weird looking comic. What is that? Blaze Barlow. I'll have to look for that. That's different looking. Flaxon, Alter Ego number 1. Caliber comic, something I'd never heard of. Susie Owens, I don't know who that is, except that that's probably her. I don't know, whenever you make a comic book character based on a real person, that's kind of odd. But yeah, she is that character. So that's a little bit weird. But it looked like an interesting book. So for the 75-cent bin, that's how I'm going to go. Captain Victory. I'm looking for an issue number 2. There it is. I've got a couple of these. His haircut always cracks me up. But it's a Kirby comic. I always get these if I see them. I haven't seen a lot of them. I think I've only got maybe 2 or 3 issues of this laying around. Found a copy of a book called Fusion by Eclipse. I, of course, love Eclipse. This is Fusion number 6. It is black and white. I do love me some black and white comics. So, grabbed that. Grabbed Fusion number 11. Just anytime you got like, I don't know, space stuff and manimals, and I'm interested. I got the post-Black September Malibu Comics Foxfire. This is after Marvel bought them out and, you know, killed them shortly after. But still, I do love Malibu Comics. I love Ultraverse, all of it. And it's a great cover. Maximage number 1. I mostly just got it because it was a number 1, and it looked like an Image comic that I don't actually have any of. And usually, I have like most of the early Image stuff. It's not necessarily good, but I like it. I like the art style. It's so 90s. I love the 90s. Who doesn't? I was thinking there was some pretty decent artwork in this book. There's one shot. Yeah, I was looking for that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, had to get that. Very glad to get it for, once again, 75 cents. Halo, an Angel Story. This is a serious book. I grabbed it just because I never heard of it. And it's a serious book. And I like that kind of heavy black lined art style. So I thought I'd grab that. I found a random issue of Hero Alliance, number 3. I do like Hero Alliance. I've been grabbing them when I see them. They're just, well, they're a book that I hadn't heard of, but they had some really cool covers. And this is one that I didn't have, so I grabbed it. Blackout Comics, High Voltage number 0. Looks like kind of one of them 90s bad girl type titles. And I do always appreciate those for their ridiculousness, for everything. I tend to grab those when I see them, especially if it's one I haven't heard of. This was a weird DC book. The covers on Infinity Inc. I just bought a couple of them because they just looked so good. I don't know anything about this section of the DC universe, but that is a great cover. This is a pretty darn cool cover because it's Solomon Grundy. I love him, so I gotta get that. Maybe I'll actually learn a little something about Solomon Grundy, other than that he was born on a Monday, died on Tuesday. Anyway, I knew I have this, but when I was looking for all of my Age of Apocalypse books, I could not find it. And I was like, well, there's one right there in the bin. Save me all the trouble of finding it at home. I'm just going to buy that. I picked up the Liberty Project number 8 because it's an Eclipse Comics, and it's an Eclipse comic. That's all the reason I need, isn't it? It's an Eclipse Comics. I don't see it. They had a few issues of Liberty Project. There is number 7. I got Liberty Project number 5, which I think I might already have. But you know, when you're dealing with a big pile of store credit and you don't know, you just go with it. Just grab it. Liberty Project number 3. I'm not sure if I have this one either, but I know I've got a couple issues of this. So I just grabbed basically one of everything he had. It looks good to me. It's good comics. Grab this issue of Labor Force. I have a couple issues of Labor Force, but I'm pretty darn sure I don't have this weird eyeball guy on the cover. This is definitely one of them kind of more independent. This is Blackthorn Publishing. I think their most famous thing they did was Roach Mill. But grab that. I saw this and it had Ninja Turtles on it, and it's Genesis West Comics. The Last of the Viking Heroes meet the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1991. And sure shit, it's the Ninja Turtles in there. So how can you can't leave a Ninja Turtle comic in a 75-cent bin. It goes for a little ways, and then it seems, I guess maybe just the ads are black and white. Awesome old stuff that you can't buy anymore. Anyway, total must get. I found this issue of Epic Comics Coyote. Not familiar with Coyote, but it looked interesting, and it was a book that I wasn't familiar with. Angel Fire. It looked kind of like an Image comic, and it looked like kind of a bad girl comic from the era. So I just grabbed it. Who knows? It's probably crappy, but I'll give it a whirl. And I always grab these when I see them. This is Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld. Working on getting a whole set of these. There's like 2 series that ran. And it's a comic that, I don't know, very marketed towards girls during the 80s. But also kind of not. I mean, it kind of looks like it on the outside, but I don't really think it was so much intended to do so. Oh, this they threw in for free. It was in my bag, which I didn't even realize until I got these home and went through them, but I got that. I pick up any Eternity comics I see. This is Tiger X number 1. I just don't leave them because they're Eternity comics are getting hard to find, and I really love their art. I love their attitude. I love these books. I think my favorite Eternity comic, other than X-Mutants is probably Cat Claw. Enjoy that very much. I never heard of this. It was a #1 JC Comics, Thunder Agents. I'm grabbing that. And yeah, just some random superhero book that from a company I've never ever heard of, ever. And when you're in the comic book, you know, collector phase since your teen years and there's a comic you've never heard of, that's a big deal. Preteen Dirty Jean Kung Fu Kangaroos. I've got a couple of these, I think, but I don't have this one, so of course I'm going to grab that. This is a Marvel book, but I've never heard of this. Power Pachyderms, and it looks like Cerebus. Everybody looks like Cerebus. I think they're supposed to be elephants, but look at the weirdness. I didn't know this crap existed. Anybody else know this crap existed? Because I sure as hell didn't. I'm impressed with it though. So anyway, definitely had to get that. I got an issue of Prowler because I have every issue of Airboy, and I have an issue of Airboy meets the Prowler. I don't have any issues of the Prowler. Just a, I don't know, he's got a very 30s feel to him. 30s, 40s. Prowler #4. He's not quite the Shadow, but he's not quite Darkman either. He's in there somewhere though. Spellbinders #11. I got it because it's a Quality Comics. Had a cool cover. The art inside is just like a mess. And I'm pretty sure that is Nemesis the Warlock. It looks just like him. Pretty sure. Familiar with that character. Scavengers. I just got this because the cover looked ridiculous. I don't much care for the inside coloring, but I do think the art looks all right. Wait, it looks like the color, the color. Whoever was working colors on that book, a little bit on the wild side. I should move my camera a little bit. Kind of the same. Yikes! Wowza! Wowza! That is quite a face. Scavengers #0. Outside Comics presents Scratch, issue #2. Just a little kind of offbeat black and white book. Kind of reminded me something that Mirage Studios would put out, so I grabbed it. This is Victory Comics Shuriken. I just got a whole bunch of Shuriken stuff from Eternity, so this is I didn't know they were made by this company as well. So something I definitely wanted to pick up, especially for that cheap. 6 from Sirius. I've thought about picking up this whole series. There's two mini series of this. The covers just look ridiculously cool. So it's been a series that I'm kind of thinking about getting. So I grabbed a random issue of it. It looks good to me. Definitely one of the things that make you like comic books. I totally just grabbed this issue of Speed Racer because she's wearing a tiger stripe bikini. Or swimsuit. That's it. That's the only reason I grabbed it. Shallow, right? But I love tiger stripes. My wife pointed this out. She noticed how many like Jungle Girl titles I have, where everybody's wearing like leopard print or animal print, and she decided that I had some sort of thing for it. Stern Wheeler #1. This looks like a comic strip that has been put into a comic book, and I think that's cool. And it looked very, I don't know, 40s-ish, 50s-ish maybe. Looked like something I'd like. DN Agents. I love the DN Agents. I think my first video I ever uploaded was DN Agents. And this is just a mini series with Surge in it. Had to grab it, especially at a little discount bin. I got Surge Part 2 of 4. So I got 2 and 3 of 4. Pretty decent art. Pretty decent book, looks like. I haven't read it yet. But I certainly like the color palettes going on with all of those. Grabbed this book called Siphons from Now Comics. Not really, I didn't even crack it open. I just bought it based on the entirely weird cover. Just look at that cover. That's weird cover. Looks like my stack is getting a little bit floppy there, so I'm going to stand it up. All right, he also had in his collection a pile of Warlords. I love Warlord, and I have a whole bunch of them, but I don't have anything under 20. Issue 20. I think I have 20 and up. So I found issue 8, issue number 15. Very excited by these. These are not books I find very often, ever. I know they're in rough shape. This is issue 3. You know, I know they're rough shape. I don't care. I do not care at all. This is Warlord stuff. I love his covers. Love the books. Issue number 9. Issue number 19. Looking kind of like Lion-O there. I also found Monster Hunters from Charlton Comics, number 5. Which of course, it's not a book I'm familiar with, but had a good cover, and it's from Charlton, and I do appreciate Charlton Comics. So I got number 6 and number 9. Very low grade, very floppy books, but books that, you know what, if I haven't heard of it, then I'm interested. Now I also picked up issue number 21 of Mantra. You know I love Malibu Comics, Ultraverse, and I don't have a lot of Mantra. For some reason, that's a hard book to finish out the run. I think it's the only book from that whole company that I don't have everything of. He had an old issue of Howard the Duck in his bargain bin. Well, I'm not going to leave Howard the Duck in the bargain bin. I think it's like a buck. It's all he wanted for that. I'm not going to leave Howard the Duck for a buck. Nuh. Prophet Baywatch Special number 1. Don't really know what that is. It looks like the same art as in your typical issue of Prophet, but it looks like a chick. So I don't know what that means. But I do grab Prophets simply, for some reason I dig them. But I didn't know about this one, so I had to grab it. I had to chuckle at myself because he had an issue of Marvel in his bargain bin. And I have tried to get a hold of these at different times. You can never find them. From all accounts, this is a terrible series. Totally sucks. But it just has really beautifully done covers. And this is Marvel number 6. And the inside looks stupid. Like, I don't understand what the word bubble thing is going on here. Why would you do this? And it's apparently, like, most people don't like it, and I kind of see why. Why would you make your cover? Why would you do that? That's awful. But the covers looked great, and that's probably what sold the book. Found an issue of Double Impact. Actually, I found a few issues of Double Impact. These are definitely a staple of anyone's Bad Girl collection. You have to have a bunch of Double Impact comics. And so, of course, I have a bunch of issues of Double Impact comics. Stuff like that. They are what you'd expect. They are kind of trashy 90s Bad Girl titles, and, you know, that's what sold them. That's why they're in a bargain bin. That's why I probably picked them up. But anyway, that one features Helena, another Bad Girl from the era. This one probably has a big poster with it. Anyway, there's that. Now, I bought a couple of sets from him. I know this is getting a long haul here. But I picked up IDW's Danger Girl G.I. Joe, number 1. Because I love G.I. Joe. Who doesn't? But I also used to love Danger Girl. I knew it from the video game. There was a Danger Girl video game. And I always played that. I got number 2 from that series. I always like the art in these. I have the complete set of their action figures. I think I have 2 different sets from them. And it was just a nice new glossy book. And very excited to get it. And then back my camera up just a touch. Danger Girl G.I. Joe number 3. Number 4. Beautiful looking stuff. A little bit cartoony in some of it, but I think that's kind of the way Danger Girl always was. And I got issue number 5. So yeah, very excited by those. It's the last thing I got here. Well, I guess it's not the last thing I got. I got a little, he had like a set of variant issues of Fathom. So I have the Fathom action figure. I have a couple of the old series. So he just had like a bag of Fathom, older Fathom issues. So I'm like, I definitely got to get those. All of them are the variants. So I was like, well, if I'm going to get them, now's the time. I got a whole bunch of store credit. And he's like, well, the variants are more. And I'm like, that's okay. They got better covers. So I popped on them. I got it. I don't know how many different variant covers there were. Kind of new to some of that. I had the old Fathoms. I don't have any of the new stuff. Picked up, this is another little set. A Fist of God from Eternity Comics. And they're really, really nice art in them. Really well done. They were more expensive than I kind of wanted them to be. He had like a little 3-pack of 1 through 3. I think he wanted like $11 for it. I think I got him talked into like $6 or $8, which is still maybe a little more steep for these. They're not in the most perfect condition, but you got to do what you got to do. I get it. Yeah, it's not like I'd ever heard of it before, and not like I felt like tracking it down anywhere else. He cut me a good enough deal on it that I couldn't resist. So anyway, I ended up getting the Fist of God 1 through 3. He had, well, you know what? I might just run through these real quick. Let me put these down. Wasn't sure if I was going to have these in here. He had a whole bunch of Legion of Superhero books. Legionnaire 7, Legion, and they were in his bargain bin. I'm not terribly familiar with this era of DC. They just had really good looking covers. I recognized Saturn Girl. I kind of liked what I was seeing on the covers. That's basically all I can say. And so I just snagged the big pile of them. I'm just going to go through real quick. I do, you know, I'm not the biggest DC guy, so I don't always know what I'm getting into, but these just look like, you know what? I think I like what's happening here. I've read an old, it's like a big old thick trade of Legion of Superhero stuff, and I really liked it. So I was like, you know what? If this is Legion of Superheroes and Legionnaires, looks fairly similar. They were all kind of blended in together in a pile, and I took the whole pile. I just thought they looked really good. Gonna just buzz through them real fast. See, I recognized Saturn Girl, and literally that's the only person I recognized. But anyway, it was just a little pile I couldn't resist. And then the final package I got. I never heard of these ever. Shahrazad. It's a mermaid. There's a mermaid on the cover. I'm not going to pass that. There's a freaking mermaid. It was a beautiful cover. Interior art, look at that. That stuff's crazy. Anyway, this is a newer comic. Never heard of it in my life. Have no idea what I just got into. But he had like the whole set. I think he only wanted like $15 for him. He was having a sale. And yeah, I'm not going to leave that. Not for a sale price. Not when I have that much store credit. We're going to grab that. Looks like it's got mermaids. Looks like it's got pirates. Everything good. It's all the stuff you want in a comic, right? Shahrazad number 3. Some of it looks a little bit digital inside, but I'm going to be okay with it. because it is just beautiful looking stuff. Issue number 4, Shahrazad. I think I'm saying that right. Shahrazad. And it's from, what is this? Big Dog Inc., a company I've never heard of, ever. Of course, I've been out of the new comic book game for a long time. But anyway, you can see why I couldn't leave it. See why it looked good. Pirates, sexy mermaids, what's not to want? And the art inside looks pretty damn good, I must say. So what's not to leave? Anyway, that is what I got. That is my entire haul. That is a long video. That is a big haul. But like I said, I had the money. I had the in-store credit. Thought I'd pop on it. So that's what I got today. Like I said, sounds like we might get all of our videos shut down if we're not profitable by December 10th. Or, you know, the FTC can probably snag me for a bunch of my action figure videos. So I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll probably be shutting down on most of those. I might probably keep some comic book videos going. Gonna have to see. Gonna see how it all plays out. Might be a moot point. We might all be out of a channel by December. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sure Rangers Lee is gonna tell me about, you know, any of these series I don't know. And Bub's Comics, you know what? Bet you there's some books in here you didn't know about. So I hope you enjoyed this. Catch you guys later. That's been my story. Bye.